Hello and welcome! Today we're in the Tier 9 US battleship, the Georgia. We're playing a ranked match on the map of Warrior's Path. It's Tier 8 to 9, and I started the game by using Speed Boost immediately and sailed straight towards our cap zone, and then I'm gonna try to follow my destroyer. The Georgia is the fastest battleship in the game, which means that you can do some pretty crazy pushes with her, in a way where enemies don't expect you to be there. For example, our Kitakas is right there. If an enemy destroyer pops out from behind the island, she will have my support immediately. Whereas, if the Kitakasa pops out around the island, the enemy destroyer might not have their battleship support immediately because, well, their battleship is slower. Oh, and we actually caught an Edinburgh off guard. This is perfect. Come on. Okay, it would have been perfect if I had aim. Also, looking at the minimap, this is a perfect opportunity. I mean, look at the minimap, right? We can see the Iowa, we can see the Alsace, we can see the Kronstadt, we can see the Huguenot, the Benham. The only two ships that could be here are the Edinburgh and the Friesland. Friesland doesn't have torpedoes, so the only torpedoes they have over there at the sea cap are the Edinburghs. And I don't think Edinburgh could actually sink me with all of her torps. So this is actually a perfect opportunity to push, right? I mean, as long as I can avoid the Edinburgh torpedoes, this will be an extremely safe push. And yep, there's the Friesland. I do have one little complaint though, which is our Atago. I wish the Atago had come with us, but I can somewhat understand that she wanted to stay slightly safer because she couldn't know what I was gonna do, right? So the plan here is I'm gonna try to pretend like I'm gonna go wide here. I'm gonna basically keep sailing diagonally so that the Edinburgh launches torpedoes and will hopefully just misses with them. Okay, 20k to start out with. Now I'm gonna turn in. I'm gonna try going diagonally constantly. Oh, and there are the torpedoes. Shouldn't there be 4? Why are there only 3? Well, maybe she already launched some. But she already used all her torps, so now it's lights out, Edinburgh. Good night, good night. There's nothing she can do. And you know what else is cool? That Friesland is close enough that there's nothing she can do either. Friesland's also dead, because she can't run away anymore. Oh, we spotted the other destroyer, the Benham. But if I just keep going through this, there's no way. The Friesland is dead. She cannot escape a Georgia, especially since I have speed boost in 20 seconds. If she had tried to run immediately, she might have been able to disengage. Or, if she were basically any other destroyer in the game, because then I would have to worry about torpedoes. But because it's a Friesland with no torpedoes, there's just literally nothing she can do. And thus, we're gonna get the Friesland and then the sea cap as well. Now imagine if that had been a Benham instead of the Friesland there with the Edinburgh. I think I might not actually have pushed this, but because it was a destroyer without torps, well, that's where I went. Or even if it wasn't the Edinburgh, if it were actually the Neptune, because Neptune should have more torps, right? I know Minotaur does, I'm not entirely sure if Neptune does. Well, anyway, this was a perfect push, and this actually showcased one of the advantages of the Georgia. Because she's so fast, you can get into these positions where enemies are simply caught off guard. But you kinda have to get lucky on them, but, you know, if I were a slower battleship, there's just no opportunity to get lucky. There wouldn't have been any tools for that. But with an extremely fast battleship, that's entirely possible. Also, our Atago actually turned around at one point and is now going for the defense of the B-cap, which is perfect. I assume the Benham simply didn't know Atago was there, otherwise she probably wouldn't have tried to sail into the cap, you know, straight in the view of a heavy cruiser with hydro. But yeah, this game is basically settled now. Even though, okay, it might not be over, because it's possible that our teammates at the A-cap could die, but all in all, it kinda looks over. we just have such an amazingly better position on the map than the enemy does. We hold B, we hold C, we still have destroyers left. If the enemy somehow takes A and tries to push either B or C, they will face heavy resistance. Yeah, this is positionally an extremely difficult game for the enemy. And I think they simply won't have the HP left to actually even fight. Because, I mean, look, I have 50k HP still. That's about as much as their battleships have combined. And I am actually advancing on their position. So they'll have to probably start cutting away if they want advantageous fights over here. Because if they start coming closer, well, they simply get eaten by my destroyers. Right? Because I have a Jutland, 2 Kitakazes, so it'll be difficult. By the way, I'd like to mention that this Kitakaze with me has played really well here, because she actually pushed, and she pushed in a way where I was able to push too. Because remember, if you push blindly, you're simply guessing whether the enemy is gonna be there or not. But with this Kitakaze next to me, well, there's a good chance I knew that the enemy couldn't be at least that close in front of me, because she went first, right? Basically, she's like a screening force, I guess is how you could put it. And I think this tag team of ours worked really well here. Well, I suppose it's technically not, no, it could be considered a tag team. Like, the push together it worked extremely well. I am really surprised. And overall, the team played really well. I mean, we lost one ship, but chances are he was the battleship, so he actually tanked, right? So everyone played their part. And now it's simply time to finish off the Kronstadt, and that will end the game. Kronstadt's gonna show me broadside here, so I'm gonna take that shot. You know what? I actually expected more damage on that one. God, I love the Georgia. I love the accuracy of the guns. Like, you aim at a target and you actually hit... Sometimes, you know, you hit fewer shells than you would like to, but I like the fact that it actually hits the target. So, this actually put me at rank 5, but whatever. 101k damage, 3 ships sunk, 1 solo cap, 1 assisted capture, high caliber, first blood. This aggressive push really paid off, and I really like my Kitakaze for this. And she definitely deserves a compliment for that one. Well done. Well done, Joe Quimby. Wow, the secondaries actually did 10% of my damage, 10k. I am a relatively secondary spec on this ship. Still, more than I expected, but I suppose I was really close to Friesland and the Edinburgh. And the secondaries obviously added up in damage on that. 9-minute game. Certainly didn't feel that short from positioning. Anyway, upgrades: emergency repair specialist, grease the gears, adrenaline rush, emergency repair expert, concealment expert, then secondary range, and then priority target. But I don't recommend taking priority target. If I had 2 extra points, I'd take close quarters combat here for the main battery reload. I simply don't have 21 points on this captain yet. Upgrades wise, I use artillery plotting room for the dispersion, then concealment, damage control, secondary range again, engine boost, and auxiliary armaments. Mostly because your main batteries don't get knocked out that often and you wish to save your main guns. I also use a spotting aircraft because the ship has 20 kilometers range. Sometimes you need slightly more. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.